Good afternoon, fastball fans, and welcome to the 2018 ISC World Tournament here in Kitchener, Ontario at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard. This afternoon's game features the Hill United Chiefs and the J&B Bombers. It's a rematch of the 2017 ISC Championship game, but we've got a couple of twists here that we'll get into as we develop the storylines. I'm Blair Setford here on the ISC Network. Hill United Chiefs, the visitor in this game, and if you're not used to seeing the Hill United Chiefs in the losers bracket, it's because they're very rarely there. Only 2016, the last time the Hill United Chiefs visited the losers bracket. Never this early in the tournament. They're here courtesy of the Circle Tap Dukes. J&B Bombers have already played one today. They were easy winners over the Bare Bottom Lodge. And that gets them to this rematch. What is the twist, you ask? Well, it's Pablo Migliavaca who will start on the mound for the Hill United Chiefs. Adam Falkert on the bench. No word why, no reason why. He was out helping with the infield warm-up. Beyond that, we haven't heard why it's Migliavaca over Schofield or over Falkert getting the start here this afternoon. For the Hill United Chiefs, it'll be a pretty familiar lineup for our regular audience members. Brad Ezekiel leading things off, to be followed by Nico Carrillo. Then Nick Shales, Bruno Matroni, Jason Hill, Jeff Ellsworth draws in as the DP, Mark Johnson, Shane Boland, James Todhunter in the 9 spot for the Chiefs. Round the horn, Yusuf Davis, Chris Walushka, Mark Aranda, left to right in the outfield for the Bombers. Tony Mancha steps in at third base. Cam Schiller at short, the sure-handed shortstop. Kevin Castillo at second. Hector Lopez is over at first. And it will be Devin McCullough pitching to Blake Hunter. Patrick Burns threw a real good game this morning at Bare Bottom Lodge. And the ace steps in for this one, Devin McCullough. Kyle Cowick will be the designated player for J&B Bombers in their batting lineup. Real good crowd building here as we have the holdover from the Hallman versus Hallman All in the Family matchup. That one won by the Twins. They advance 4-0 winners, and they will make Championship Saturday. They will finish in the Final Four. The Hallman Cubs will finish in a tie for 5th, which is their highest finish at the ISC World Tournament. These two clubs have got their eye on a bigger prize, getting back to that championship game for both of these teams. A year ago, it was the Chiefs prevailing 5-0. The Bombers coming the long way through that day, trying to win their 3rd game in a row in that championship game. It wasn't to be. First pitch from Devin McCullough, called a strike.
Don't start this shit again.
John Hill down to talk about the very first pitch of the game. I believe that's our umpire, Kevin Wallace, behind home plate. Serge Laflemme is out at first. Rob Deacon is at third base. So for one pitch, we've already had a little bit of controversy. And this one is skipped in. So 1 ball, 1 strike. We've been dodging some weather patterns all day here in Kitchener. They called for rain for most of the day. We really haven't seen it yet, knock on wood. We started at 10 a.m. Hallman Twins eliminating the Nith River Monsters in the 10 a.m. game. That was followed by the Bombers taking out the Bare Bottom Lodge Haymakers. For those of you who have been with us all day on the ISC Fast Pitch channel, you saw the Hallman Twins take out the Cubs. downstairs from McCullough. Struggling to find the range here early. 3 balls and 1. And this is the 4 o'clock matchup, just getting started about 4:25, 4:26. So about 30 minutes behind, which isn't too bad given that this is our 4th game of the day. Change up and a good one. Devin McCullough, for those of you new to the men's game, has got one of the best in the world. He will feature that pitch often. And when he's got it working, he gets it low in the strike zone. It almost gets to the plate and then just falls off the table. Very tough pitch to hit. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Brad Ezekiel leading things off. This one is launched deep left field, back and gone. Bradley Ezekiel does it again. A leadoff home run puts the Chiefs out in front, 1-0. Well, if you're picking up the audio from the music there, are you ready for this? Bradley Ezekiel was certainly ready for that. Bring up Nico Carrillo, last year's MVP. Bradley Ezekiel on his way perhaps to an MVP here in ISC play. He is having an absolutely stellar week. I believe that gives Bradley Ezekiel now 13 RBIs. The record is 17, and with a few more games to play, Bradley certainly has a shot at that record. Indeed, that is Brad's 13th RBI, 12 coming in. The knock on Devin McCullough over the years is that he spends a lot of time pitching from behind. And fell behind Bradley Ezekiel, falling behind Nico Carrillo here, 2-0. Well, it's somewhat cliche, you can say it about any pitcher. You're much better pitching when you are throwing ahead in the count. And it's 3-0 Carrillo, and that's going to draw a little visit from Blake Hunter.
No, the singles. Yes, please. Thank you.
Winds have been swirling around all day here at Peter Hallman Ball Yard. Look like they're blowing almost straight in from right field at the moment. You just see them there in the edge of your frame, just beyond that blue and white striped tent. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk as opposed to the 4-ball walk variety.
Coming to bat, the man
Come on, Chelsea, Rico!
That will bring up the ever dangerous Nick Shales.
Come on, Chelsea!
And this one is drilled out to center field, up off the glove of center fielder Chris Walushka. Carrillo around third, standing up. Shales sliding into second with a double. And the Hill United Chiefs have brought the bats here to play this afternoon.
Good job, fellas. Good job.
Walushka went back quickly, but that ball was very hard hit and off the glove, off the fence. And no opportunity to get either Carrillo or Shales. Both run well. And that brings up Bruno Matroni, the catcher. No easy outs in this Hill United lineup. All of them national team players.
Come on, Bruno. Come on, Bruno.
You've got Canada, Australia, Argentina, all represented in the lineup for Hill United. Similar to the Hallman Twins, who have Canada, the U.S., and Argentina. And the Gremlins, of course, who have Canada, the U.S., Australia, and New Zealand represented in their lineup. Over the head of Hunter, straight to the screen, but he got a generous bounce off the back as that came right back to him. Those can often ricochet off a post as opposed to just hitting the mesh. And then it's anybody's ball game as to where it goes. Or a camera, as our producer Nick Cadis notes, as we have that behind home plate. I don't know if you can see it in your screen there or not. There's a called strike. Nick has made several trips to the backstop and propped up the ladder and had to adjust that camera, along with last night's window washing operations, amongst other things. Matroni chases upstairs for strike 2, and I think if McCullough can get some of these Chiefs swinging at the rise ball up and out of the zone, they'll be doing him a favor.
Oh, Bruno! Hey, Bruno!
If you're just getting in with us here on the ISC network, it's Blair Setford soloing this afternoon. Hill United Chiefs out in front 1-0 on a Brad Ezekiel leadoff home run. Change up. Troney able to keep the hands back and foul that one off. Bruno just 3 for 11 through the tournament. Does have a home run and a couple of RBIs. Big swing and a miss, and Devo looked dialed in for this at bat, much more so than the first 3.
With 1 away and 1 lead at second and third, the batter is number 10, Jason Hill.
So that will bring up Jason Hill. Jason has settled in nicely at first base over the last couple of seasons for the Chiefs. Spent a number of years as the designated player, but with the departure of Steve Mullally, there was a hole at first. Hill has filled it well. Called strike in the outside corner.
Hey, Ellie! Come on, 1-0!
McCullough, a long look into Blake Hunter for a sign. Shales out on second base, also peering in.
Good job!
And this one misses down low. You just see Shales there stepping into your screen, and he will look just as closely. 27 and 72, both peering in for a sign.
Come on, Haley, come on!
Change up, flared out to center, tagging is Carrillo. They're going to throw to third to go try and get Shales, but that's cut off. And a sac fly for Jason Hill, and the Chiefs extend their lead to 2-0. Textbook baseball, textbook softball by Hill United. Get them on, get them over, get them in. A good bit of hitting there to keep the hands back and to hit the changeup. Doesn't get any easier after Jason Hill as Jeff Ellsworth, the returning Jeff Ellsworth, away from the Chiefs for the season. Technically was on the roster, I guess, but did not play last year. Has been very busy as the coach of the Team Canada junior men's team. Chases upstairs. Canada, 4th place finish at the recent Junior Men's Championship up in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. By all accounts, a fabulous tournament in Prince Albert. Of course, won by Australia with a no-hitter in the championship. Ellsworth batting .455. It's like he never left. 5 for 11 in 4 games of the Chiefs. Jeff was the MVP the last time the tournament was here in 2014. Led the Chiefs to the championship. They won that year on that memorable walk-off single by Craig Crawford, as this one is bounced in by McCullough. Tie game into the bottom of the 7th that year against the hometown Hallman Twins. Jeremy Manley and Adam Falker were the pitchers that year. Craig Crawford, an opportunity to win the game, and he did. Stop the plate ball forward. Jeff Ellsworth works a walk, put runners on the corners with Ellsworth and Nick Shales. Those two often joined at the hip, it seems like these days. Lumberjack Sports and Exit Speed Swing, the two business enterprises operated by Shales and Ellsworth respectively. You see the ad that's running on the ISC network, and we're hoping to get an opportunity to talk to one or both all throughout the week, and every time we try and get together, it just hasn't worked out one way or another. And still try and get Jeff and Nick up into the booth at some point here this week. Brings us to Mark Johnson. This one downstairs. Hands out of the way is Johnson. Big cut just underneath that rise ball from Devin McCullough.
On up, Jay. 826.
And misses this one as well. McCullough rears back and throws that one.
Hey, couple out there. Come on.
I think if McCullough could find that range consistently, he would be able to get through here. 2 down in the inning, runners on the corners. Already a pair of runs in. A Brad Ezekiel leadoff home run, and Nico Carrillo scoring on a sac fly by Jason Hill. High hopper on the infield over the head of McCullough, coming across. Cam Schiller barehands it. Can't get him at first. It's off the base. Was Edgar Lopez. Had to come off the base to go get the throw. Valiant attempt by Schiller, but the end result is now a 3-0 lead for Hill United Chiefs, and they are looking very good here early and trying to keep the pressure on the J&B Bombers as up steps Shane Boland. Ellsworth went all the way from first to third on that play. Very alert base running by Jeff Ellsworth. Ball that never left the infield.
Come on, Shaner.
Chasing upstairs goes Shane Boland.
Hey, Boulay.
3 runs, 3 hits so far for the Hill United Chiefs, aided and abetted by a couple of walks. Called a strike on the inside corner.
Hey, now you fight for us here. Come on. Hey, 91. Come on, Boulay. Come on, Boulay.
Nice one. Chopped back to the screen, foul.
Come on, Tanner.
1-2 to Boland. On the move goes Johnson, and down on strikes goes Shane Boland, but not before the Hill United Chiefs strike for 3 in the top of the first. They lead 3-0. J&B Bombers coming to the plate.
To an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
bottom of the first inning, number 28, left fielder, Yusuf Davis. On deck, Chris Wojcik.
Come on, Peps. Here we go. Let's go to work, boys. Come on.
So we're back for the bottom of the first here on the ISC network. J&B Bombers coming to the plate. They'll be led off by Yusuf Davis, to be followed by Chris Walushka. Blake Hunter in the 3 spot, followed by Edgar Lopez, Cam Schiller, then Mark Aranda, Kyle Cowick, Tony Mancha, and Kevin Castillo in the 9 spot for the Bombers. For the Hill United Chiefs, if you have been a regular audience member, you could probably do this one with me. Left to right across the outfield, Mark Johnson, Brad Ezekiel, and Nico Carrillo. Shane Boland, Nick Shales, James Todd Hunter, and Jason Hill around the horn on the infield. The twist today is that it's Pablo Migliavaca working to Bruno Matroni behind the plate. Tried to bring the curveball, but it was about a 44.5 footer there from Pablo Migliavaca. So 2 balls, 1 strike to Yusuf Davis leading off. He leads the Bombers hitters with 7 hits. Chris Walushka has 6 so far in the tournament. I want to thank Jim Flanagan, who conveniently sent in some stats for me to use here on this solo broadcast this afternoon. Thanks, Jim. Got my back. Here's a high hopper on the infield. Todd Hunter comes up with it throwing, and very quick because Davis motoring down that line, but a 4-3 put out, a good one. Chiefs infield is very good defense. The Chiefs, well known obviously for their power and their pitching, less so for their defense, but they are rock steady out there when they're on the dirt side of the field. So with 1 down, that will bring up the Team Canada member Chris Walushka, one of the more versatile guys in the game. Playing center field today, can play shortstop or second base as well. Great wheels, good contact hitter, hits in the gap. Migliavaca already with a 3-run cushion, so that allows him the opportunity to just go out and throw his game. He doesn't have to be super fine. There's a called strike on the inside corner. Now, we're not talking about a guy here who's a Tuesday night beer league thrower. Pablo Migliavaca, very accomplished in his own right. He just happens to live in the shadow of Adam Falker. Walushka had a notion to chase upstairs. Crowd continuing to build here as we get into, as Joe Todd likes to call it, the supper hour here in Kitchener. Swing and a miss by Walushka, down on strike. So a good start for Pablo Migliavaca here on defense. That brings up Blake Hunter.
Number 12, the catcher, Blake Hunter. Edgar Lopez on deck.
Good job.
Quickly get out in front on the BC man. And this one again, they try to throw that curveball. You'll see the elbow of Migliavaca get away from his hip when he tries to throw that curveball, and the arm, not quite sidearm, but much more up on an angle when he's throwing the curve. He just hasn't been able to get the timing of that pitch yet, and he's throwing about 44 footers with it right now. It's a high hopper, but right into the glove of Jason Hill. And a 1-2-3 inning for Migliavaca. Sits down the J&B Bombers through 1 complete. Hill 3, J&B no score.
Never enough.
To the game of the Bombers from Maryland, in the bottom of the first inning, there was nothing in front. And coming up for Hill United, James Todd Hunter.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and Indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an Indigenous perspective. Listen live at jukasaradio.ca or download the Jukasa Radio app free from your app store.
You see Devin McCullough there just about to complete his warm-up tosses. Devin had 47 strikeouts in just 25 innings coming into today's action. He had 3 of the 5 wins. Pat Burns had picked up the other 2. Burns is yet to allow an earned run in the tournament, or any run for that matter. J&B upset early in the week by Ostrander, but they've outlasted them here in the tournament. Ostrander lost to the Kitchener Cubs and were eliminated the other day by, I believe it was Bear Bottom Lodge. Blake Hunter and Kevin Wallace are going to commiserate over a bounced pitch. I think each of them wore a little bit of that one. Todd Hunter 4 for 10 in the tournament, couple RBIs. Called strike downstairs. And this one is lifted up to right, tailing away, coming on hard. That is going to fall just foul down the right side of that line. A long run out there for Mark Aranda, and it's a very damp outfield still. It's not what you would call a fast track by any means. Where we're situated here in the press box, we are literally staring right down the barrel of the right side foul line, and that one just about 4 to 6 inches foul on the right side.
Good job, atta boy! Hey Jimmy! Come on, Nines! Come on, Jimbo! Come on, Jimmy! Come on, Jimmy!
Swing and a miss downstairs. James Todd Hunter goes down swinging, and that's now 2 in a row for McCullough, perhaps finding the range a little bit here. So back to the top of the shop. Brad Ezekiel, already a home run in this game, 13 RBIs, and it's only Friday. Big healthy cut there. Bradley, of course, with the bat held very high, brings the hands down. And when he was younger with that stance, he was told he'd never be able to hit the rise ball. Not sure who gave that scouting report. Probably the same guy told Team Canada in '72 that Vladislav Tretiak wasn't much of a goalie. Hard two-hopper down to third, bobbled, Mancha picks it up, still spins a good throw over to first and scooped out of the dirt by Lopez. good stick-to-itiveness there by Tony Mancha. Bradley Ezekiel is retired for the second out of the inning. The thing about playing third base in fastball is the ball gets on you so quickly that even if you do bobble it, you've often got time to pick it up, and if you can make a good throw, you can still get the runner. Nick Shales lifts this one foul down the left side. Nobody will get to that. Carrillo, we mentioned, the MVP last year, batted close to 500, led the tournament with home runs, and tied for the RBI lead last year. Come off that pace a little bit this year. Does have a home run, a couple RBIs so far. Carrillo served almost an apprenticeship with the Chiefs for a couple of years. He was going to be the heir apparent whenever it was that Jeff Ellsworth decided to retire. And when Ellsworth did leave a couple of years ago, Carrillo stepped right in. And now that Ellsworth is back, it seems like it's been Benny Weidman who has been shuffled through the lineup. Big cut and fouled that one straight back. That'll reach the train tracks out of play behind us. Somebody went over to the train tracks the other day and they brought back a giant garbage bag full of balls that nobody had been able to collect, obviously. Change up, and Carrillo kept the hands back but pulled it foul. And this one, a little flare onto the short center. That's going to fall in front of Chris Walushka. Nico Carrillo will trot down to first with a 2-out single. And that will bring up Nick Shales, who laced a line drive double off the glove of Walushka in center. Got back in the first inning and helped set up the second of the 3 runs for Hill United. Downstairs. There's never a moment in the Hill lineup where as a pitcher you can take a breath. You've always got to be 100% in focus. You have to be fine with your pitches. You can't leave one out over the plate. McCullough continues to struggle to find the range. On the move is Carrillo. Shales protecting, fouls it straight back. Top of the second inning. This game still has a lot to be played out. But the Chiefs right now with a big 3-0 lead. And Shales, big swing out to the left and make it 5-0. A 2-run home run for Nick Shales. He turned on that inside drop from Devin McCullough and yanked it right over the left field fence. And with 2 outs, you just cannot take a breath, cannot take a break in this lineup. And that quick, inning and 2/3, and already the Chiefs out to a 5-0 lead. All the damage being done at the top of the lineup. Bradley Ezekiel, a solo shot. Carrillo reached on a walk. Shales, a double. A sac fly RBI by Jason Hill. And now the 2-run home run by Nick Shales. A Looks like this is Devin McCullough's game thus far. Patrick Burns went 7 innings this morning. Tony Mancha right now playing third base. He is otherwise occupied. Here's a little bleeder on the infield by Matroni and thrown out by Mancha over at first. But the Hill United Chiefs strike for 2 more. They lead 5-0, headed to the home half of the second.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the Kitchener River Shark Twins repeat. Back-to-back Jets! It's the local kid who wins it.
Swing and a miss. Jarvis, 3-peats. Adam Falter, absolutely.
Here comes the throw to the plate. Are the world champions. 2015 ISC Men's World Champions.
Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run, and the Toronto Gators are world champions.
Fittingly, it's Adam on to first, and the United Chiefs back to the top of the mountain.
ISC Canada East, home of champions. Back here on the ISC network as the JMB Bombers will come to the plate, trailing now by 5, just here in the bottom of the second inning. It's Edgar Lopez, Cam Schiller, and Mark Aranda for the Bombers. Jim Flanagan writes in just reminding me about Pablo Migliavaca. Back in 2012, when Argentina sent their junior men's team to play in the ISC World Tournament in Midland that year, Pablo Migliavaca was one of the pitchers on that team, and they would go on to win the Junior Worlds that year. Pablo, we did a lot of talking about Ramon Godoy and Huemo Mata this week, but it was Pablo who preceded both of them by winning the World Juniors back in 2012. So thanks, Jim Flanagan, for sending in that reminder. Gotten to know Pablo fairly well over the years. He has pitched in the Golden Horseshoe Fastball League with the Hill United Warriors club team for a number of seasons in the summer, as does Adam Falkert, and Nick Shales played in the league, Mark Johnson off and on over the years. The opportunity to play against some of those guys a few times over the years, and always a pleasure to be on the field with among the game's best. A pleasure to know these guys off the field too. Very good. Very fine gentleman indeed. Called third strike right over that outside corner. Edgar Lopez down looking.
The runner and back number 2, shortstop, Cam Schiller. Mark Aranda under.
Just missing outside from Pablo Migliavaca. Kyle Smith writes in to say that if Nick Shales starts to get hot, look out. 2 for 2 already with 2 hard hits. And if they can get through today with Pablo Migliavaca and perhaps start Justin Schofield tomorrow morning, there's that curveball that we were talking about earlier from Migliavaca. Didn't bounce this one in, didn't find the range yet, but making progress, I guess. Perhaps Justin Schofield starts tomorrow. This one downstairs, 3-0 here on the very dangerous Cam Schiller. He leads the Bombers with 2 home runs in the tournament. Two of his 4 hits have been home runs. Called strike, 3-1. Cam Schiller made the all-world team last year, had a terrific tournament, tied with Nico Carrillo for the lead in the RBIs. one of the primary reasons why the Bombers got to the championship game. Had a notion to go. Couldn't pull the trigger, so full count on Cam Schiller. Some chop foul. Nico Carrillo is deep in right field. He's about 3-4 strides past the patch of grass that is a little bit worn out from all the cleats that it's seen over the past week. Brad Ezekiel, Mark Johnson at normal depth. This one well hit to right. Carrillo is going to come across. Ezekiel's there as well. He calls for it and makes the catch at about 10 feet in front of the fence. So Schiller gave it a bit of a ride, but hit more of the bottom of it than the back of it. That'll be the second out of the inning. We'll bring up Mark Aranda. Aranda just a couple of hits in the tournament, but again, one of them a home run. Bombers come in at 5-1. Hill United 3-1. There's a 1-2-3-4-5 hopper out to James Todd Hunter, an easy flip to first, and another 1-2-3 inning for Pablo Migliavaca. The Chiefs will go back to the sticks. We'll head to the top of the third. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
A legendary pitcher. Unbreakable records.
That's got a mile. Goes a mile high to the wall, to the track. Saved by baseball. And that ball is lifted up and going back to left field. What a great grab. Off speed is deep, and you can get out of this ballpark.
5 Hall of Famers. 3 World Championships.
And that ball is driven out deep.
It's from Parker to driven deep. Shane Bowen to the fence. It's gone. Shane Bowen has hit the game-winning home run.
The Toronto Gators, gone but not forgotten.
Want to give a shout out to Jack Fireman. Thank you, Jack, for helping to sponsor the ISC Network here this week. I know you're watching back at home in Toronto. Also to Terry Bader, elected to the ISC Hall of Fame for induction in 2019. We will be in Denmark, Wisconsin for that tournament, the home of Circle Tap Dukes. And you'll see Circle Tap coming up here in the winners bracket final. They'll take on the New York Gremlins. Scheduled 7 o'clock start time. I suppose we could be almost on time for that. Jason Hill, a sac fly RBI back in the first inning. Jason comes in with just one hit. That's a little light for Jason. At one point, Jason was among the career leaders in batting average in the ISC World Tournament. But down on strikes, leading off the third inning. And we talk a lot here on the ISC Network about wanting to get to pitchers early before they can get into a groove. Certainly the Hill United Chiefs have done that at this point. Never allowed Devin McCullough to settle in right from Bradley Ezekiel's first at bat. A 3-2 pitch, taking it out of the yard. Hill United has not looked back since. Ellsworth walked, got as far as third in the first. No batting gloves for Jeff. Does have an ankle guard on that right foot under the pants. And this is downstairs. I tried the exit speed swing developer model in Mitchell, Ontario at the Canada East qualifier back in June. Nick Shales was there with the Lumberjack Sports setup, and he had some of the exit speed equipment. And what a difference does this tool make. You slide this sleeve onto the bat, you swing through with your normal swing. It has essentially a towel attached to the sleeve, and it provides resistance. And this one is lifted fouled out of the left side out of play. Provides resistance as you go through your normal swing motion. It's much different than just having a donut weight on the bat. It's motion all the way through your swing, or resistance all the way through your swing. And if you do that 4 or 5 times and then take the sleeve off of the bat, it feels like you're swinging a bat that is 10, 15 ounces lighter. It's incredible. You go up to the plate with that, you will be able to swing so much harder. And that is the whole point of developing exit speed velocity. You see them talk about this all the time on the Major League broadcast. The exit speed swing of the ball. Jeff Ellsworth can't handle the changeup from Devin McCullough. So 2 in a row here by McCullough. That will bring up Mark Johnson, a single and an RBI to his credit back in the first. The point of that elongated story is it works. And for ball players out there, give it a try, the exit speed developer. It's worth spending a little bit of your dough on. While you're at it, get some Lumberjack Sports equipment. Talk to Nick Shales about that. Lumberjacksports.ca, exitspeedswing.com. You'll see the ad here throughout the broadcast. Coming up next, I'm told. Thanks, Nick. 2 guys in the game giving back. Jeff Ellsworth, of course, coaching the junior men's team. Nick Shales does clinics all over Ontario now where he lives. If you want him to come to meet your group of young ball players, get a hold of Nick, get a hold of him through the Hill United Chiefs. If you're going to learn from somebody, you might as well learn from the best. Johnson swings and misses. Devin McCullough strikes out the side, but it's 2 innings too late to get into this one. Hill United lead 5-0. We will go to the home half of the third. The Bombers coming to the plate.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game, every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports and Exit Speed Swing. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn the 6 steps to the perfect swing and how the Exit Speed Swing developer can make it even better. Get more power from your swing and improve your game with Exit Speed Swing as Team Canada Junior Men's head coach Jeff Ellsworth walks you through hitting drills and training tips. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports and Exit Speed Swing. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca and exitspeedswing.com to put your game over the top.
Moving off the bottom of the third, number 20,
Kyle Cowick to lead things off, followed by Tony Monch and Kevin Castillo, 7, 8, 9 in the Bombers' batting order here. Pablo Migliavaca comes in with a changeup of his own. Kyle Cowick had a great start to the week with Team Canada back in the fall at the Pan Am qualifier down in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. To get into this game, the Bombers have wins over the Oswegan Redmen, then lost to Ostrander Norseman 2-1 in their second game. But as we talked about a little bit earlier, the Bombers still alive here. Ostrander sent packing a couple of days ago already. After the loss, they followed up with wins over Dolan and Murphy, Elmira Expos. Then they beat Ostrander, so that's who sent Ostrander packing, actually. You get the rematch. And then Bear Bottom here earlier today. Down on strikes Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Kyle Cowick, we hardly knew you here in the third inning. And we'll bring up Tony Mancha. In that loss to Ostrander, McCullough struck out 17 and threw a 3-hitter, but there's video on the ISC Canada East Facebook page of Ryan Merriman's home run late in that game, which was the difference for Ostrander. Again, want to thank Jim Flanagan for some of the material here this afternoon. Tony Mancha out of the New Mexico area, does a lot of pitching for Team USA at international events. Migliavacca shakes one, finds a sign that he likes. Downstairs, a good drop ball swinging over the top goes Mancha. Kevin Castillo coming to the plate. Jim would want us to say hi to Paul Castillo, Kevin's dad. Swing and a miss. Migliavacca working well right now, finding some spots and getting the ball to move, and those are two key things. If you can do that, you'll have a lot of success. Castillo has played for Team USA several times over the years, perhaps best known for breaking up a couple of Adam Falkard no-hit attempts in international play. This one is laced fair down the left field line. We've got some confusion here, as I thought that Kevin Wallace had stood up and signaled fair ball, but I think he got overruled perhaps by somebody down on the third base line. It's Rob Deacon who's the umpire on the third base side. Castillo is going to get called back to the box. Perhaps get an explanation. I may be misreading what Kevin Wallace jumped out to signal. I thought he jumped out and was signaling fair ball with the right arm. But I didn't see the reaction of the third base umpire. Shales is scuffing in the dirt there on the foul side of the third base bag, not Shales, rather Shane Boland, and just pointing to where he says it crossed the bag in the foul side of the territory. Shane would never mislead us, so we'll take that. Kevin Castillo, just to finish that story, once in junior men's and once in open men's, 10 years apart, breaking up no-hit bids by Adam Falkard in international play. And there's the changeup from Migliavacca, and swinging right through goes Castillo. The second one of those hits by Castillo was as a pinch hitter in the bottom of the 7th inning with 2 out. And it cost me a beverage with Kyle Smith, as I had wagered early in the game on a no-hitter by Adam. 2 shakes, 3 by Migliavacca. Not sure he's got that many pitches. Must be location. Castillo, the 9-batter in the J&B Bombers order. Still looking for their first base runner here in this game. Bottom of the third. Missing downstairs. So a full count to Kevin Castillo. Pair of strikeouts leading off this inning. Kyle Cowick and Tony Mancha. And swing and a miss, strike 3. Migliavacca strikes out the side. He's got it going on right now. He and his Hill United Chiefs with a 5-0 lead over the J&B Bombers through 3 complete. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
The annual Boys of Summer tournament is held every July at Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game and one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill on the grounds can't be beat. Reduced rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at ct16@greenbaynet.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program.
Peligro Sports provides the essentials needed to give your team an edge on the field. Our brand is rooted in creating a unique experience tailored to the specific needs of your team to ensure your performance is at the best level to execute plays. At Peligro Sports, we rally behind our athletes and understand their fight to take their game to a dangerous level. Visit our store at 2200 Amsterdam Avenue in New York City or see us online at peligrosportsnyc.com. Thanks to Jose and Peligro Sports for their support of the broadcast program.
You've seen Shane Boland featured in a couple of the ads running here on the ISC network. Of course, that game-winning home run in the 2016 ISC championship game, a walk-off 3-run home run, gave the Toronto Gators their 3rd ISC World Championship. Called strike on Shane Boland. Shane, of course, a native of St. John's, well, the Goulds, actually. I want to get that as correct as I can. The Goulds, just outside of St. John, Newfoundland. Touches this one foul. Was 500 coming into this one. 5 for 10. Had scored 4 runs. Hasn't hit a home run yet, which is somewhat unlike Shane. He's a police officer back at home in St. John's. He and his wife Courtney just had a baby in the not so distant past, like in the last 6 months, I want to say. Older brother Ryan, also a new father. So the Boland family, the extended family, growing by leaps and bounds. Say hi to Janet Boland back in St. John's. Haven't seen her here this week, so I'm assuming back in St. John's. This one is punched out to short left. Yusuf Davis will range across and make the catch. Now, we talked about the weather a little bit earlier, how we've been bobbing and weaving around the storms that are in the region, and I do see some clouds off in the distance that look like they've got some rain in them. The grounds crew yesterday did a fabulous job here and overnight to get these fields ready for play. Had an opportunity to talk to many of them, as James Todd-Hunter doesn't like that called strike on the inside corner. But they've done an absolutely tremendous job here, as they always do here in Kitchener, Ontario. The grounds crew and all of the volunteers here at the tournament, they've all got the lime green, fluorescent green shirts on. You can tell who the volunteers are a mile away. And they just do such a tremendous job hosting the ISC World Tournament. Swing and miss by Todd-Hunter. I remember a couple of years ago, the first time James Todd-Hunter was over, I think it was 2014, and was getting a rough time from the crowd for wearing 99. Of course, the Wayne Gretzky number here in Canada, a little bit sacrilegious to wear 99. And Todd-Hunter promptly hit one out about 330 feet, and that silenced the crowd pretty quickly about number 99. Down on strikes here, though, second time today, and that will bring up Brad Ezekiel back to the top of the shop for the 3rd at bat in only 4 innings, little or less than 4 innings of play here. That's how quickly Hill United seem to be going through their batting order, and Big Cut comes up with the foul ball. McCullough struck out the side in the 3rd. All the damage done in the 1st and the 2nd. 3 in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. And that's where we stand right now. 5 runs on 5 hits for Hill. Nothing across for the Bombers to this point. The tournament committee did a check presentation last night to various minor sports associations for $20,000 to go towards youth sports development. And John Thompson talked about that being for infrastructure, things like batting machines and nets and other pieces of equipment that are necessary for the development of young athletes. So we salute the host committee for supporting minor sports here in the Kitchener area. There have also been several talks this week about mental health, and of course this is a subject that's near and dear to me. They had the former NHL goalie Clint Malarchuk was in talking about his experiences with mental health. Ezekiel fouls this one off. They also had several of the SAFE talks, which are about suicide prevention and supporting good mental health. Joe Todd has been through the SAFE talk and is a certified SAFE talk. No, Joe's not here to tell me exactly what it is. I apologize, but he has the Safe Talk certification. Brad Ezekiel, this went up deep left field, way back, in another home run for Brad Ezekiel. This guy just continues to set the World Tournament on fire. Brad Ezekiel, his second home run of the game, 14th RBI of the tournament. Can you say MVP? That's his 6th home run of the tournament, too. And I know somebody's going to write in and say, what is the tournament record? I'm going to look it up while we speak. It looks like the Bombers are making a pitching change. So while that happens, Pat Burns looks like he's coming in to pitch. We'll do a bit of research. We'll come back with that for you. Hang on. Stay with us here on the ISC Network.
When you're in St. John's, Newfoundland, you're at home. And you're never more at home than when you're at Kelly's Pub, right on famous George Street. Traditional live music and some of the best fish and chips in the city are what you'll get at Kelly's. One of the top fastball sponsors in the country is right here in St. John's. Kelly's Pub, live music, great food, and friendly service. Right around the corner is Three Cheers Pub, home of the 3-time Canadian national champions. Three Cheers is downtown St. John's friendly pub. Affordable drinks and great staff with buckets all day, every day. Three Cheers Pub is a proud fastball sponsor. Kelly's Pub and Three Cheers Pub, come and make yourself at home.
For all your team uniform and equipment needs, fastball, slow pitch, and hockey, for players and teams, make sure you visit Corbett's Source for Sports on the South Service Road in Oakville, Ontario. There's a lot of deals to be had on all kinds of equipment. Thank you to Paul Hurd and Corbett's Source for Sports for their generous sponsorship of the broadcast program.
So back here on the ISC Network, most home runs in a tournament, Jared Martin, Patrick Shannon, Donnie Hale, Nick Shales, and now Bradley Ezekiel, all with 6 in a tournament. Most runs batted in a tournament, Bradley Ezekiel with 14. The record is 17, set by Donnie Hale in 2012 and tied by Wayne Laulu in 2015. That certainly seems within reach for Brad Ezekiel here as well. So the best player in Canada, perhaps the best player in the world, Bradley Ezekiel, certainly putting it all on display this week. Nico Carrillo, a single, a walk, 2 runs scored. And with a 6-0 lead for the Hill United Chiefs, They look pretty good to be playing on Championship Saturday. They'll have to win 3 if they're going to repeat and make it 5 out of the past 6 years. Coming up empty. Pat Burns has thrown real good ball here this week, yet to allow a run. Here's a 1-2-3 hopper out to Castillo. He'll make the easy flip to first, but not before Bradley Ezekiel does some more damage, extends the lead. It's 6-0 for Hill United Chiefs, or 2-0 for Bradley Ezekiel. Come back here on the ISC Network.
If a man runs for president, interviews for a high-level job, or needs a good table at a smart restaurant, chances are he'll be wearing a suit. Mr. Ned is your custom tailor in New York City. Located at 137 Fifth Avenue, we provide our clients with the highest quality custom suits at affordable pricing. Our range of fabrics is second to none and will fit the needs of any well-dressed professional. Whether it be everyday business attire or a special occasion, we have the ability to make you a man of distinction. Visit the store at 137 Fifth Avenue in New York or see us online at MrNedNYC.com. We thank Mr. Ned and Varn Matosian for generously supporting the broadcast program.
The wind is starting to swirl here a little bit as we get some ominous black clouds. You just see it at the top of your shot there before we switched. Starting to circle the wagons here at the Peter Hallman Ball Yard here in Kitchener just a little bit. We're back to the top of the shop here in the top of the 4th inning for the J&B Bombers. Yusuf Davis, the athletic left fielder, as Joe Todd shows me a very ugly looking radar picture. Very ominous looking for the next few hours here in the Kitchener area. We're going to try and get as much fastball in as we can. Hopefully it's going to go around us. Les Novak, who doubles as a meteorologist back home in Minnesota, is telling me that it's going to go underneath the Kitchener area here a little bit. Yusuf Davis out. Chris Walushka gets his second look at Pablo Migliavaca. Walushka was down on strikes back in the first inning as Migliavaca having a little bit of trouble with that landing zone. He's not the first out there this week to have a little bit of trouble with the landing zone. He's way off to the side of the board there towards the third base side. Haven't seen any umbrellas go up yet. That's a good sign. Get a little bit of breeze to pick up and just blow these clouds right through the Kitchener area. We'll be just fine with that. And a foul off the bat. Walushka just couldn't pull the bat back out of the zone, and a foul ball for his troubles. One ball, one strike to Chris Walushka here in the top of the 4th inning. And that pitch just misses up high. You see the catcher, Bruno Matroni, asking exactly how high. Justin Schofield is now warming down the right field line for the Hill United Chiefs. Schofield, the hard-throwing right-hander from Nova Scotia. Wolfville, Nova Scotia, to be precise, and had the opportunity to visit Wolfville earlier this summer on a business trip. Wonderful little town, about an hour roughly outside of Halifax. The Canadian Men's Championship will be in that neighborhood as well, St. Croix, Nova Scotia, in a couple of weeks. Walushka lifts this one up to center. 2 steps over for Brad Ezekiel. He'll haul that in for the second out of the inning. Breaks the strikeout string. And that will bring up Blake Hunter. This game a bit of a letdown, you have to think, for the Bombers after that early win today over the Bear Bottom Lodge. The Bombers coming out a little flat here against Pablo Migliavaca and the Chiefs, and this one is lifted out to center as well. Ezekiel, same spot, same result. Another fly ball, another out, and Pablo Migliavaca continues to hold down the J&B Bombers. We will go to the top of the 5th inning here. Hill United Chiefs looking for one for an early ending. Stay with us on the ISC Network.
To an ISC event? Then stop waiting. Check out our website or social media pages to see when the next event will be near you and come be a part of the experience.
Nick Shales will lead things off for Hill United here at the top of the 5th inning. Nick, a hard double and then a line shot home run. A couple runs scored, a couple of RBIs, just a typical Nick Shales game as he's looking to get further on track here in his ISC World Tournament. Below the Mendoza line coming in, got to think he's rising above that now. As this one hopped in by Patrick Burns. Kyle Cowick has come on to catch for Blake Hunter. So they've just done the position switch. Cowick was the designated player. Hunter staying in the game, effectively becoming the DP. It's a called strike. Burns, a hard-throwing righty out of Western Canada. And blows this one right by Nick Shales up top in the zone. That's a real good-looking pitch right there. Country hardball from Patrick Burns. Hit it if you can. This one is foul. Problem with throwing that pitch to Nick Shales is that he usually can hit it and often will deposit it a far long way away from the plate. Justin Schofield completes some warm-up tosses down the right field line. Have to think that he's probably coming into the game. This one is lifted up to center field, but Walushka will range across and track that one down about 10 feet in front of the fence. in center right. Gave it a ride, Nick Shales, but couldn't lift this one up and out of the park. So they retire Shales for the first time today, but 3 hard-hit balls, and that will be a good portent of things to come if you are a Hill United fan. That'll bring up Bruno Matroni. Bruno, another guy that they would like to get going. Strikeout and ground out today. 3 for 11 coming into today's action. This one goes to the screen. The wind continues to pick up here, now blowing right to left across the outfield. That will favor a lot of the right-handed hitters in the Chiefs lineup, as they're at the plate at the moment. And when the Bombers get their turn in the bottom of the 7th for the righties, it will help them as well. If you can get one up into the jet stream, it'll surely go. Downstairs and comes in on a hop and hits Matroni in the back foot. Takes a lot to hit somebody in the back foot. But nonetheless, Bruno will trot down to first. So a 1-out base runner. And we will get to see Jason Hill again for the 3rd time. A sacrifice fly in the 1st, strikeout in the 3rd. We talked about Hill looking to improve on his World Tournament stats here this week. Big cut, but comes up empty on that Burns offering. Called strike. So Pat Burns has done a good job of getting ahead of the batters coming on. Devin McCullough seemed to pitch from behind in every inning other than the 3rd when he struck out the side. A lot of the Team Canada brass here this week. A lot of Team Canada players on both of these teams. And called strike 3. Jason Hill down on strikes. 2nd time today. That'll bring up Jeff Ellsworth. Jeff walked and then struck out in the 3rd. Matroni still out at first base, looking for somebody to move him along. And this will do it as that skips off the glove of Cowlick. And that will move Matroni up into scoring position on the pass ball. Long time in between pitches here for Burns. Right back up the middle from Ellsworth. Matroni comes around 3rd. Here's the throw. It's cut off. Sliding in. Bruno Matroni. There is that magical 7th run. And Jeff Ellsworth with an RBI. And we talked about Ellsworth earlier. It's almost like he never left. There's his 5th RBI of the tournament. Now batting 6 for 13 so far this week. Mark Johnson, he's got an RBI to his credit here as well. Called a strike. Ellsworth still has very good wheels out at first base. Had a stolen base the other night. And this one skips in, but a good job blocking that by Kyle Cowick. Cowick has been a mainstay on this J&B team for a couple of years through the mergers and everything else that has centered around J&B. Called strike. And swing and a miss. Down goes Mark Johnson for the second time today, but the Hill United Chiefs push across that ever-important seventh run. They now need 3 outs to complete the journey to championship Saturday. Stay with us here on the ISC Network. We'll head to the home half of the fifth coming up.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM, operating from the 6 nations of the Grand River Territory, is dedicated to the promotion of Indigenous culture, positive initiatives, language, and music to our youth. We offer a unique blend of top 40, hip-hop, R&B programming, and Indigenous music. You can count on Jukasa Radio 93.5 FM to help your voice be heard. Our interactive call-in shows feature locally produced news, sports, health, current affairs, and social issues. Unique programming with an Indigenous perspective. Listen live at jukasaradio.ca or download the Jukasa Radio app free from your app store.
We thank Brian Porter and Jukasa Radio for their support on the ISC Network here this week. Edgar Lopez, Cam Schiller, and Mark Aranda. And there's a hard hit ball, flagged down by Shales, turns, throws, scoop, called out at first base. What a great play on the Chiefs infield. We'll find out in a little bit just how important that play was, and a tip of the cap there by Edgar Lopez to Nick Shales. Only a couple people in the game make that play. Nick Shales is one of them. Wow. Flashing the leather. Cam Schiller now at the plate. Schiller having a very good tournament. A couple of home runs. Amongst the leaders for J&B in the batting department. And a changeup. Matrone couldn't handle the changeup. I'd actually ask if he went around on that. I thought he went halfway around, but they're not going to ask. Well, I guess they got a called strike at the end of it. I didn't see the arm go up, but a swing and a miss, another changeup. Migliavacca's got a real good one. And 0-2. By Pablo Migliavacca. And a crowd continuing to build here, sensing something special as we are in bottom of the 5th inning. This misses just off the outside corner. And this one is lifted out to center. Bradley Ezekle on a run, slides, makes the catch. 2 fine defensive plays here in a row, 2 web gems. And the Hill United Chiefs, airtight defense indeed, doing everything they can here for Pablo Migliavacca here in the 5th inning. 2 highlight reel plays in a row. That will bring up Mark Aranda Mark grounded out to second baseman James Todhunter in the second. Took something off there. Aranda, 3/4 the way around. Strike one. And Kevin Wallace gave it a good long look and thought about it, but decided that it was inside. 1-1 on Mark Aranda. And a swing and a miss for strike two. Ground ball to Shales. Turns, throws, perfect game. Pablo Migliavaca, a 5-inning perfect game. Congratulations to Pablo Migliavaca as he gets congratulations from his teammates. Shane Boland with a big hug. Jeff Ellsworth. Bradley Ezekiel comes in from the outfield. Mark Johnson there. 6 strikeouts, 4 fly balls, and 5 ground balls. None more so than the play by Nick Shales on Edgar Lopez leading off this particular inning. Flat out dive, turn, throw, and getting Edgar Lopez by a quarter step at first base. Congratulations to Pablo Migliavaca and congratulations to the Hill United Chiefs as they move on to Championship Saturday. J&B Bombers will finish 5th. Stay with us here on the ISC Network as we bring you the undefeated game from the winner's bracket final. New York Gremlins, Circle Top Dukes, coming up in about a little over 1 hour, 7 p.m. Eastern Time from Peter Hallman Ball Yard. I'm Blair Setford. Thanks for joining us here on the ISC Network. Good afternoon.